unpublished. If you prefer to self-publish, purchase the step-by-step book on publishing through Amazon, or purchase services a la carte, from formatting to creating custom covers, or even tips to gather endorsements. The staff is headed by 2 professional writers. After your books are published, either trade paper, electronically, or both, purchase marketing tips, web services, book trailers, or turn your book into an audiobook. Publish provides all your writing, publishing, and marketing needs. So give them a call at 941-748-6865. Contact them online at dgould497@aol.com, or go to the website at www.publishedavillagevoices.webs.com. Welcome to Culture Coast. The intro you just heard was by Al Musitano, and today we are revisiting Jean Farmer of Fun Girl Art. She has now been in the village for a year, and she is a member of the Artists Guild of Manatee, our board members, and she has started a small business Saturday for us the day after, 2 days after Thanksgiving. And welcome, Jean. Tell us a little bit about your project.
I was familiar with Small Business Saturday. This is the 6th year. It was brought here by American Express, and the reason is it's kind of like a reactionary to Black Friday, which is all the big box stores, and so the small businesses now have their own voice on Small Business Saturday, and we encourage everyone to visit small businesses and shop local. So this is the first year we're doing that in the village.
That's really cool. So what are you planning on doing for Small Business Saturday? How has the Village of the Arts gotten involved in it?
Well, one of the things they do with the Small Business Saturday is they have neighborhood champions. So a person or a group will decide if they want to be a neighborhood champion, which is what we decided to do. And what we do is, as a group, we work together to encourage people to come shop small, and you have to come up with an event. So we decided to have a scavenger hunt, and by doing this, they gave us a whole bunch of free bags and buttons and balloons and things to give away. So
now, who is we? The people?
American Express. American
okay.
Express does this all over the country. 88 million people last year participated in Small Business Saturday. So.
And there'll be more this year since we're adding to that figure.
Exactly.
there's quite a few galleries open in the Village of the Arts on that Small Business Saturday.
Right,
yes?
Right. And it's the kickoff of the holidays, so It should be a great day.
Should be, and there should be great specials, and people can come for a scavenger hunt. And
right.
What do they do for the scavenger hunt? How does
what
that
they
work?
do is they start at Fun Girl Art, and they'll end up at 11th Street Gallery. But in the meantime, there are like over a dozen galleries that have special scavenger hunt clues for them, and that's where the higher prizes are. So it's, in other words, it encourages you to go to all these galleries in as short a time as possible, mind you, because you only have an hour to complete the scavenger
12
hunt.
galleries in 1 hour?
Well, you can't do them all, so you have to figure out how to strategize, which is what scavenger hunts are kind of all about.
Oh, okay,
So,
cool.
yeah.
Well, it sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And now we're going to listen to your interview from last year. You first came to the village.
Great.
So it was great talking to you again, and thank you for telling us about Small Business Saturday.
You bet.
And you have a new place
Yes.
that you just opened in the Village of the Arts.
I did.
And how long ago was that?
We came in, we moved in the 1st of November, and I opened the gallery the 1st of December.
That is really quick. So
Yes.
the place didn't need a whole lot of work?
Oh yes, we bought the house in January,
So
we
you've
had
been
the
working-
renovations done, but we didn't get
You
down
didn't
here.
move in until
Yes.
it was done. We're going to go right back to the very beginning of your artistic being.
Okay.
All right? Any relatives that are artists?
No.
So you're the first in your family who is an artist.
Well, I'm the first in my family who
Is it
is
professional?
proclaimed to be an artist.
Professional
and,
artist,
Right, and
okay.
meant to become a professional artist, yes.
Who in your family, when you say that, who was a hobbyist?
Well, both my grandmothers were quilters, and they loved gardening. They were both farmers. So it's funny because I remember my one grandmother's art, her quilts. I never liked the colors that she put together, and I always, equated it to that, she was using what she had. But my other grandmother didn't have anything either, and she cared about which colors went where, and I noticed that as a small child. I remember that.
That's a good, that means you were already doing those kinds of things in your own mind, making the creative connections. Very
Right.
cool.
Yeah.
When did you first notice that you enjoyed art? And what kind of art do you do?
I do all kinds of art. So the thing I remember first about recognizing that I was an artist, I didn't really think about it. You have fun drawing. I had a twin sister and a sister 2 years older, so we'd be playing. Well, I drew a picture of an elephant, and I didn't know how to draw the whole elephant. So I drew 2 lines down the middle and called it a tree, and put the front part of the elephant and the back part of the elephant. And my family, my parents, I just remember them remarking how great that was. And to me, it didn't make sense because I was hiding the fact that I didn't know how to make the whole thing. But they rewarded me by praising me for that. So then all of a sudden from there, how you
Well,
are.
perception. You were already making perceptions and seeing the similarities between things, so they were picking up on that and rewarding you for that.
Mm-hmm.
It's a way to get people interested. Science, math, all of that stuff. You see what the child excites them, and then
Yes.
you realize the good part of it,
Yeah.
and you promote it and you reward them for that. So that's a good way to get it going.
Yeah.
So did either of your sisters ever go into art?
My twin is starting to explore it now. She's doing, some nice paintings and things like that. So yeah,
Because you would think it would be genetically. Are you fraternal or
we're fraternal.
so you're
Yes.
not identicals?
Right.
Okay.
Or mirror or anything. We're just 2 different sisters.
Just shared the womb together.
Exactly.
And the room.
All right.
Why do twins never get their own room?
Yeah.
Never. So, in high school, how did the art go?
Well, I played with art, and I never really thought about it at that point as something serious. I was in track, and I was in student council, and I did all these other things, and so my art was just my personal stuff. I was in 10 years in 4-H. I came from a rural area, and I got to go to state with my sewing. So my sewing really was my art at that point, and I'm so proud of my little dress I went to state with.
But you know what? That is an art.
It is
Sewing
an art, which
is
I
a
didn't
major
really
art.
realize. So I've always kept my sewing. I do art quilts and things like that. So
I'm such a fail when it comes to sewing. I get near a machine. Don't ever let me near your machine. Not even
Okay.
in the same room, because they will break.
Oh yes, that's so weird that you say that because my machine is old and I love it. And once you get used to a machine, it's yours and it becomes the magic.
People have to understand that art covers more than just 2-dimensional or even 3-dimensional sculptures. It's
Right.
more than that. There are culinary arts where we have
Exactly.
people
My
here in the
husband
village.
creates magic when he cooks.
And gardening.
Yes.
There's a botanical
Love
arts,
that.
amazing, and our healing arts where
Right.
we actually help people feel better through art and through touch
Yes.
and through smell, aromatherapy. There's
Right.
just so many ways that we can heal people with our art. And with food, I mean, Rachel's cupcakes are absolutely magical.
Now, which one's Rachel?
She's right here in the village on the corner of
Retrobake?
Retrobake.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, and she has nothing in them. There's nothing bad. There's no gluten. There's no this. There's no that. There's no this. And I'm like, okay, then why do they taste like magic?
I want to try those.
She has little elves, I think, that are making hers.
Okay.
Something magical is going on over there.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So tell me how you got where you are now, where you're
Okay.
an artist. How did that come about? Did you go to what about college?
Well, I went to college for interior design. And I always loved art, and I wanted to do something with art and business. I went to college, and then when I started being serious about what I was going to do with my life, there wasn't really an art school around, and
In
at
that
this
area.
point, yeah. And so I really went back. I went out a couple years and then quit and started over again. So at that point, I saw where there was a new interior design school that was getting ready to come into Charleston, where I was living, Charleston, West Virginia. I decided that worked with the art and the business, so I would go that way.
Absolutely.
And it was a wonderful experience. It was great, and there was so much art. That's what we did. You learned art, and then you learned interior design. So
because you have to have your colors down. You have to know how they work with each other and how they work
and
against
art
each other.
history and everything, because you have the whole story of interior design. It's a package. So it was a great education. So I got my degree in interior design. It was called the Carlton Varney School of Art and Design. It's I don't even think it's called that anymore. And Carlton Varney is out of New York City, and he was the designer that took over Dorothy Draper's things at the Greenbrier.
So you also had to learn how to do the materials, how to actually make the materials where you could have designs on the
right.
The
and
drapes.
Some people went off to be fabric designers.
Yeah.
And, there was just so many different
I've had
places.
a few, and wow, that's a whole different art all on its own. My God.
Well, so I, like I said, with the business and the art, I went into commercial design. And so I enjoyed it, but I remember going to see a client one day, and I thought, this is not working. This isn't working for me.
Now, did you have your own business, or were you working for somebody else?
I worked for somebody else. So at that point, I guess I had left interior design because it was, just things that happened. The company wasn't doing well. And I went to work for a bank, of all things. I'd been a banker when I was going to school as a teller, and they asked me to come back and do marketing. So I thought, okay, that's kind of creative, art and business. So, that's how I always made myself say, this will work. So I learned a lot, about marketing through that, but it wasn't feeding my soul. So I went to make a call on a customer, and I was early, so I went across the street to this garden center, and I saw this art, and it was metal sculptures, and I thought, I love that. I could do that. I've just got to figure out how. It just captured my imagination. And so my cousin was a welder, and my aunt was talking to another aunt one day, and she said, Lee has this new piece of equipment you could cut out a flower with. And I'm like, that's it. That's the thing. So we happened to be at a family reunion not too long after that, and so I asked him about this machine, and it was a plasma cutter. So he said, come on over sometime. He's a good old boy. He could care less, So I went over.
Play with my equipment.
Yeah, seriously. He didn't care. So I go over and fell in love with this piece of equipment. It would cut like butter. It's this real fine
Is it
torch.
like laser cutting?
No,
almost?
it's like a torch. It's a torch with a very fine fire. So I already came up with a design that I wanted, and it was a female form.
Now, is this 3-dimensional or 2-dimensional?
It's 2-dimensional. And so it was a lady that I in a dancing pose, and I named her Joy. And so it was so funny because he's like, you want to try this? So I'm already there with something I want to cut out. And from there, he let me do that for a while. So I made 4 women, and I called them the Frolicking Female series.
Oh.
At the same time, Tamarack just came out, and that was in West Virginia. It was a huge artist thing that was state funded, so you had to be juried in. Well, I was still a banker, and I was working near where they were going to jury one day, so I thought, well, what the heck, I'll take my stuff and see if it's any good. And they looked at it, and they asked me if I had training, which was really weird because they're just simple cutouts of women. And so I thought, I loved that thought, that it somehow came through, that I had, gone to school and had some art training, but I could never understand how that worked. Anyway, they bought 12 of each one of them. So they bought 48 of my my girls. And
my girls.
Yeah.
They're still your girls.
They're still my girls. And so they put me in business, and I bought my own plasma cutter and started cutting from there. And so then it all kind of
Now, what kind
evolved.
of metal were you using?
It's just mild steel, 16 gauge steel. So it rusts. So what I did is I made rusted metal sculptures for the garden. And they stood about 2 feet tall, and they had a stake. At first I had somebody weld the stakes on, and then eventually I learned how to weld and, do all that. But then I went to putting some pieces on with my acrylics, and I started painting, and I like to do so many things. And, I'm always, trying this and that. But when we came here, I sold my plasma cutter because I didn't I wore out my first plasma cutter.
You wore the poor thing out.
Yes. So I bought another one, and I listened to some guy that was selling me what he wanted to sell me instead of getting the same thing that I loved. So when we moved down here, we sold pretty much everything, even furniture, because our place is small. We didn't know what would fit, so I sold my plasma cutter too. So I'm getting ready to buy a new plasma cutter so that I can start cutting some more whimsical things. And today, one of the things that sold in my gallery was one of my frolicking females from
the
way
very
back when.
beginning.
Yeah.
From the very beginning.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Now, full time,
Right.
doing your art in your
I
studio
am.
while you have your gallery open, so
Right.
you stop doing things when people come in.
Right. That's what I do.
And that's basically what the whole idea behind the village was that you would get to use your studio and then
Yes.
sell at the same
I
time.
know.
And
I love that concept.
I do too. I think it's a wonderful concept for artists to
It
get their
is.
start. And now you are.
Right. And this is a dream come true. This is what I wanted to do.
So are you off to a good start? Have you?
I don't
enough to-
consider this good enough to make a living right now.
Not yet.
So no, I would say
because
this
of
isn't
the
a good start.
economy and
No, I think there's a lot of reasons. I don't have a lot of inventory, for one thing.
that you have to build up.
Right. I don't have a lot of inventory. I'm not on a busy street, and people don't know I'm there yet. So there's lots of reasons why,
But you have a marketing background, so you can bring them into your studio.
which is what I'm working on too. Yes,
So
all of
you've
the
got-
things that and I
You're
would
using
like.
all the tools you've learned over
I
the
know
years.
it's so weird. And the job before this, I was a revitalization director for downtown, and I was a banker where I was a business banker. So
And you know how to get a good loan.
yes, and do all those kind of things. So
It all
so
comes
all
together.
all of my past jobs and frustrations and things that I learned were for a reason.
Where do you want it to go? What direction do you? Granted, you're going to be limited in the village by whether we have pedestrian traffic or not.
Right.
But you can pull. Being a marketer, you'll be able to pull in your own clients, as I do, where
Right.
it doesn't even depend on the village
Right,
itself.
that's what I want, and I want to bring in my own clientele. I want to be able to do shows.
Now,
so-
your art is it wall art? Is it sculpture art?
Yes, I do so many different things. That's the other
Give
thing.
me an idea here, because
Okay.
I want the listeners
Yes.
to know, and I also to see how you might fit in with maybe getting into these shops of interior designers.
Right, exactly,
Because
and that
you
is
reach out to
something.
them and they want to use your stuff. I know Connie and some of the others that do the very large wall art or murals.
Yes.
They work directly with interior designers and they stay very, very busy.
Oh my gosh, Shauna, that's exactly what I want to do, because I like to make large art. I do paintings, and I have some big pieces right now, and those are in a commercial space right now.
What type of paintings? Are they oil?
They're
or
acrylics.
They're acrylics.
Yes,
So
I
you-
do acrylics. I do abstract. I do some realism, but my realism is more cartoony and whimsical, is a good way to put it.
I love whimsical.
Um,
Whimsical is the village.
well, it is. It really is. I love the colors of my house. They just kind of go because I use bright colors. And the name of my shop is going to be Fun Girl Art, because I want to express joy and fun, and
Happiness.
I'm even going to have some classes, where people can come in. Like, think on Friday the 6th, when we have the Sweetheart Art Walk, I think we're going to let people come in and make their own Valentine's. Right.
How cute.
I'll have mixed media. I do mixed media. Right now, the last piece I just finished, I worked on for 3 years, but I didn't work on it every day, but my friends did. I asked them all to save their bottle caps for me. And so they saved all their bottle caps, and I made a piece, almost 5 foot by 7 foot picture of my brother-in-law's face.
So what do you plan on doing with this?
Right now, it's in my studio where you can see it. I would like to sell it to a bar or somewhere like that, because it's just
bottle caps.
fun. It's beer bottle caps. And
You might also want to enter it in the EcoFest.
oh, where is that?
That will be in Payne Park in Sarasota in March.
Oh my
Or is
goodness.
it the end of February?
Oh my goodness, so I better
They
find
have,
out.
yeah. I will give you more information.
Thank you for that.
The
Well, I have torsos that I've made, female torsos, and they've got some recycled stuff on them.
what are
And,
they made from?
They're paper mache and chicken wire and plaster pears.
Okay.
So they're just pretty cool. They're a very light base, but one of them I changed and made it into a mosaic, so it's pretty heavy. But most of the
Oh, yeah,
others
that
are
would be.
lighter. Yeah, right.
So what kind of tiles are you putting on the mosaic?
On that one, it was it's an Italian. It was an Italian marble. It was it's just.
Oh yeah,
beautiful.
that
Her
would be
name's-
very, very heavy.
Yes,
but
it is
beautiful.
yeah, but she's beautiful. Yeah.
So, and I don't mean to be personal. Do you have a web page?
Right now, I do have a Facebook page,
That's
and
a
it
start.
is Fun Girl Art.
Fun
So
Girl
it's
Art on Facebook.
facebook.com/fungirlart.
Now, if they go to Fun Girl Art, can they see some things that are available for sale? And if so, can they purchase on Facebook, or do they have to come see you?
Oh man, Donna, no, I'm not that good yet. Oh dear, I will get there. Like I said, I opened up my gallery in December, but
And
I've
you're still making your inventory. You got to get
Yes.
the stuff up there so that
Yes.
they're ready to buy it.
Exactly. I have an inventory, but I haven't really marketed it quite yet.
All right, and you've got some stuff. Where are you showing? You said you were showing some big pieces locally.
It's been Bachers commercial spaces. And I'm
All
not
right,
really
so
sure.
I believe that's the Bank of America. So that's the only place you're showing locally. Now,
Right.
you said something about showing up north for a while. Where did you show up north?
Well, like I said, I was the director of the Marietta Main Street, and we had all kinds of little shops, and we had a new restaurant that just opened, and it's one of those quaint little shops, or one of those, I don't know, cafes that has the brick on the sides, and my art was up against those walls. It was when they first opened. It was really fun, and I actually sold a piece, one of my torsos, out of that shop. That was, a New Yorker came in and
Fell in love.
Fell in love. Had to have it. So
That's the kind you love when they
It
have
is.
to have it.
exactly.
Now, when you get into the serious getting down to business part of it, since you did study both sides of it, are you going to do them individually? Like, is every piece going to be original, or will you have prints and will
I
you
definitely
have
want
copies?
to look into G-Plays.
Because they
right.
look like they're the real thing.
They
and
really
yet
do,
they're
and
not.
right,
It's
and
just
that only
amazing
makes
to me.
sense. So I haven't done enough research to figure
But
out
you do
exactly how to
limited
do it.
editions at least.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, so that they know that they won't see the picture on everybody's wall.
exactly.
Well, Thomas Kincaid seemed to have like thousands of the same picture everywhere.
Yeah, what a marketer he was.
It just kind of diluted it though, but he did
Yeah.
have limited editions that were far more pricey because they were limited.
Okay,
And of course, if you got an original Thomas Kincaid, forget about it.
exactly.
Nobody could afford those. Where are you located in the Village of the Arts?
My gallery is at 1001 12th Avenue West.
Good address.
It is a good address.
Oh,
It's so funny.
wonderful.
I am, as the crow flies, just 2 blocks over from you.
Yeah, mine's 1010, 1001. Yeah, they're very close.
They're very close. Yes.
So just 2 blocks south of me.
Yes, exactly.
And you're right down the street from where the sculpture is, aren't
I
you?
am, yes. Just take a right on 9th Avenue onto 12th Avenue, 9th Street onto 12th
Our
Avenue.
colorful. And what is that company that's right there where the
That's
sculpture
like
is?
Manatee Graphics.
Yes.
Yes,
And
right
you,
there.
You turn right there into the village, and
Yes.
you're going to be the first place they come to, right?
That's exactly right. I am the first place that's open on the left. I'm a yellow house, beautiful yellow house with a bright cobalt blue door.
Oh, bright cobalt blue. That's just to say, come on in.
And that's so
Yeah,
funny because
so-
I actually have a sign on my door that says, "Come on in."
So
Once I made the rusted metal sculptures and I went to painting, how I started painting was I would paint things black and paint brilliant colored designs on them. So from there, I started doing acrylics. I started doing paintings with abstracts with these colors and paintings. So some of those are on the wall, and my torsos are on the wall. So you will see Sieglinde, who's called the Gentle Warrior, and she's a body that has like a dark, shiny gray paint, and then she's got little cutouts from stamps from a machine shop. All these little tiny circles are glued onto her to look like she has on armor. But I call her the Gentle Warrior, so she would rather make love than war.
well, good for her.
Yes, and so there's metal art in there. I have some remnants from my rusted metal days. Some of the frolicking females are,
Now, how
are
long
there.
do those last if somebody puts them in their garden?
Years and years and years.
Even though they're rusted?
Yes, it's amazing because rust kind of stops the metal from deteriorating, a lot,
Now, do you paint them with a clear coat or anything afterwards?
I have done that, and I have, the ones that you use inside, you'd rather have a little bit, but I've had them since I started in 1997. So they live, it's probably the Walmart stuff was very, very thin metal. This is 16 gauge, and last a long time.
Okay. Now, are they two-dimensional or three-dimensional?
They're only two-dimensional.
They're two-dimensional,
Yeah,
so
two-dimensional.
you just put them like on little stakes or
Yeah,
something in the
just some
gardens.
little stakes. So I have like I said, the dancing women, and then I've made fairies and mermaids and catfish and all kinds of different drawings of simple things that make you smile when you're looking at them.
And that make people go, I have to have that.
Exactly.
That will fit in my garden perfectly, or on my wall, or
Exactly.
so. Okay, so you've got that in your gallery. Do you have a section where it stops and you have your living quarters behind that or over that?
Yeah, so as you walk in, the area that I was telling you about it's like a porch. It was kind of a porch, but they opened it up. So there's only a teeny little section that looks like that. Then the rest, over to the right, there's more gallery space, more walls, and I have included my living room into my gallery. So
how is it waking up in a gallery every day?
oh, it's just wonderful. It's so funny because whoever had this house before made this wonderful back area. So we have a huge bedroom, closet, big bathroom, and it's a office and a back deck. So
Which you could use that as your living room for the TV and stuff like that.
which is where we have our TV, right?
Exactly.
So we don't
did the
really
same
even
thing.
have to live in the gallery,
right.
So
But you have the creative juices that get started when you walk out there in the morning.
yes,
Yeah.
it's wonderful. So we have a sofa in there, but I put pillows on there to sell. So it kind of incorporates.
It's exactly, and yet you can use your art.
Exactly.
We get to use our artistic lights and everything else that we have around here. So you hope to be, with your inventory, you hope to have it fully up to snuff by the new season in October?
Oh, definitely.
So you'll be fully stocked by then and
Yes.
running pretty full
I
time.
am adding some other artists.
Types.
Right.
Oh, okay, so
Right.
additional people,
Right,
like you said,
because
somebody
yes, I
doing
can't do it all, and you do need some lower priced things so that people will pick something up and remember
Right.
and come back, because my love is really the big art. I've made some big metal sculptures too, and I like that. But
Yeah.
for a gallery like this, I've noticed, in the little bit of time I've been here, that it's a lot of people just wandering for the day, enjoying their day. It's an experience for them. And
This
so they
is.
need to have pieces that they can pick up and
It's
take
an
with them.
artistic experience to come into
Correct.
the village and do the walk, and even if you come on a weekday when there's not as many places open, you just spend more time in the shops that are, so you get to see more of it.
Right, and I want to be one of those experiences.
Yes, that sounds cool. So are you planning on being open, how many days a week?
I am open Tuesday through Saturday from 11 to 4.
Very, very good. So we'll hope that people will come see you. Do you have a phone number or anything for the business that
I
you
do.
would like to give out? Let's
Sure.
hear that.
941-448-7485.
So if they can't get you on Facebook, they can just call you and ask
Exactly.
you if you're open, and if you are, they can
Yes.
buzz on over.
Come on over.
I hope that they fill your shop
Thank
and you
you.
run out of all your inventory and have to start over.
There we go. Thanks for being on Culture Coast. Thank you.
Village of the Arts, the largest artist colony in the state of Florida, located on 42 acres, includes artists, homes, galleries, gardens, and restaurants featuring handcrafted gifts, fine art sculptures, painting, photography, enviro art, healing arts, books, mystics, and musical variety. A few of the galleries are unique in their offerings. Village Voices specializes in books and art created exclusively by Florida residents. The Dancing Crane Gallery offers fine art, custom jewelry, and unique innovative art. The Village Mystic offers all things metaphysical: meditation, massage, mediums, aromatherapy, psychics, shamans, Reiki healing, and the gem mine, where you can mine for your own personal treasure. Yoga Arts offers classes or one-on-one coaching. Musicians and bands can be found throughout the area. Many of the artists and musicians offer classes. Restaurants and bakeries provide respite for the weary and magic for the foodies. Visit during the first Friday Art Walk and stroll through the shops and galleries enjoying free appetizers, wine, music, and demonstrations. For hours and information, please visit the website at www.villageofthearts.com.